Good evening, and welcome to the Bidinators podcast. It is Thursday. We don't do Wednesday right now. Thursday, July 5th, 2018. My name is Jacqueline, and Arthur's here.
Hey.
How's it going?
It is going.
It's been a while. Life has been kind of getting in the way. It's almost like we had a vacation, but we didn't go anywhere.
No, I definitely didn't go anywhere. That's
I didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, literally. I barely left my fucking house in the last little bit.
Yeah, the same. Yeah. Like, it's just like to work or, maybe to the grocery store. And
just necessities or when it's fucking the sun's out or gone.
Yeah. Well, I will say we went on Saturday because before we knew it was going to be blistering hot. We made plans to have a little picnic on Saturday because we couldn't meet for our usual breakfast. So my mom and her husband, my husband, Sister Patty, and her son all met. We went to the beach, and I'm like, we're going to die. We're literally going to die at the beach. I made my husband buy like a little canopy tent, which was perfect. It just pops up like a little umbrella almost. And the breeze was so beautiful. I was not hot at all. I stayed actually way longer than that. I was like, I'm going to be there like an hour because it's freaking hot. But it was wonderful. Yeah, but other than that, no.
Yeah, like I barely even celebrated Canada's Day. Like it was just too hot.
No. I saw pictures of people that were like at parks and stuff. I'm like,
what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, nope. I mean, I guess I get it. Like Canada Day, it's it's the same as
it's a great holiday.
Independence Day. You know, it's fucking huge. It's your nation's birthday, but like, no, I'm not.
I'm not getting sunstroke. Sorry, I love you, Canada, but I know Canada would not expect me to get sunstroke to celebrate you. So.
Yeah, like this isn't wartime. Like I don't have to put my fucking life on the.
It's not wartime. Are you sure?
Yeah, well.
That brings us to we'll go into our first story then. The Second Civil War.
Yeah.
So now I just it's so funny that this is happening because I mean I have a coworker who we talk about, that crazy guy at work, Eric, who's been talking about he's been trying to help instigate a civil war since before Trump was even elected.
Yeah.
He goes on both sides, websites and Facebook pages and forums, and he tries to feed the flames. But I was watching Real Time with Bill Maher the other night, and they had a little fact that they said that about a third of Americans believe that a civil war is coming.
Yeah.
That was a little shocking. That's a big number of people.
It is big, but I mean, it for me, it's kind of like, what are you ingesting to make you think this way? You know what I mean? Like, what media are you listening to? Because it's fair. If you go on YouTube and you look a lot, like I was a year ago or so now, with all the like Berkeley Antifa kind of bullshit stuff, right? That stuff's still going on. There was a huge fucking riot the other day in Portland where,
was there? See, that's not making the news anymore.
Of course not. Nobody fucking cares about it.
Yeah.
But if you're consuming this and you're seeing this level of political violence, you know what I mean? Where like it's like old school fucking political strategy where I support these guys, you support those guys, we just meet in an alley and we beat the shit out of each other. You know what I mean? Because that used to be how that's how we used to politic,
Yeah,
like, we would literally meet on the streets and like the Dems and the Republicans would beat the fucking shit out of one another. So I could understand seeing that if that's what these people are ingesting and thinking like, fuck, like if we're at the level of where young people are beating the shit out of each other over fucking political leanings, a civil war could be on the fucking horizon.
I mean, it's possible.
It absolutely is.
And if you have, if we have a huge upset in 2020 where Trump doesn't win, I mean, if you have a third of the country supports him, they're not going to go laying down. I don't think they will.
No.
He's already said that if he doesn't win, it's a fix. So.
Well, yeah, the guy's a fucking idiot.
Well, speaking of fucking idiots, this is one of the reasons I want to talk about the story. Alex Jones, our not friendly neighborhood crazy man. I don't know what you call him. He tweeted on July 1st, Canada Day, breaking news that Democrats plan to launch their civil war on July 4th.
Yeah.
So that was the day of the Civil War was supposed to start. Now, obviously, liberals and Democrats don't, go out with guns and stuff. I guess they civil war in different ways. I don't know. But
if said civil war is breaking out now, this is beyond what fucking Alex has to say. That guy, I mean, again, anyone that takes what Alex Jones says on Infowars as fucking any type of real information is an idiot. You're an idiot. You're not someone who's
especially when he's already admitted it's all fake, people. If you're still believing him, you're an idiot.
You know, like I'm not gonna give your opinion much fucking worth. But I mean, I do kind of still think that the Americans are kind of in the throes of a minor civil war, where it's just the government is going to not have anything to do with it. Do you know what I mean? Where it is going to be a strictly civilian. I mean, I don't think
it's like a social sort of thing. Or do you think it'll be an actual like fights, like physical fights, or
like it is now?
Okay, so like protests and just getting like really bloody.
People are getting fucking violent with one another.
They are.
You know, it's and to do nothing more, like or for no other reason other than like you believe something differently. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was the story that came out with the guy was wearing the pro Donald Trump hat and 4 other people attacked him and beat him up. Which you know, people, I don't like Donald Trump, but we can't beat up at people just because they're wearing a hat. That's not right.
And this is why I took so much, and I still take so much issue with people throwing the word fucking Nazi and fascism around as willy-nilly as they are, because look what it's inspired.
Yeah.
Now, if you equate one man wearing a MAGA hat as a fucking Nazi, then they're all Nazis. And according to like modern fucking doctrine, we're allowed to just physically assault Nazis on the fucking street or whomever we decide are Nazis.
Yeah.
This is where I think like we are. I mean, even here a bit in Canada, we are kind of in a civil war, but it's not the war like we think. Like you say the word war and your first thought is like, you know,
troops
people
and
dead,
battles
exactly, fucking tanks and all that kind of shit. But I don't think that's what we're gonna see. I don't think the government's ever really gonna even acknowledge it. I don't think mainstream media is really gonna acknowledge this shit. Like not until it's over the top, till we are fighting. You know what I mean? I mean, like real fucking like real war style fighting. It's just messed up. Because like even what these idiots, these doomsday sayers, these Alex Joneses, these red pilled fucking whatever you want to call them, the stuff that they keep referring to is exactly what I'm talking about right now. Is this growing like discontent essentially between American citizens and how it is strictly
because even if there is an upset, in 2020 and a Democrat wins, and even if Donald Trump conceded and was like, okay, cool, you win, you're still going to have 2 groups of people that hate each other.
Well, not only that, like the gloating is going to be fucking unbearable regardless of what side wins. You know, it's like we are at a crossroads in our society, through my eyes at least, where there is no gray area. There's no fucking nuance. It's seriously one side of the fence or the other side of the fence, and those are your only choices.
Yeah,
you cannot look at things through like a libertarian style scope and not be called some fucking form of something.
And I get why. I mean, okay, I don't like groupthink either. I don't like being told how to think. But I get why liberals are so angry. Like when you see crazy shit that conservatives are doing, and they're like, well, we'll forgive it because it's getting us a Supreme Court judge, or we'll forgive it because it's getting us tax laws. Did you happen to watch Real Time this weekend?
No, I did not.
They had a guy, I think his name was Ben Shapiro on. And
Ben Shapiro on? That guy's a dick.
Oh, he's such an idiot. Like, Bill's like, he's like, I'm not a Trump supporter, but you know what? I'm okay with him because he's getting as a Supreme Court judge.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't agree with putting children in cages, but you know what? We got new tax laws that are great for me and you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about Shapiro. Like, and I'm not, going to defend this guy because I'm not a big fucking Shapiro fan myself, but he doesn't shy away from the fact that he's fucking selfish as shit. Yeah. And he, you know what I mean? Because he has money, he doesn't really care. You know what I mean? Like all the Trump shit works well for him because he's got fucking money. So,
it's only making his life better.
But yeah, no, I definitely didn't watch that.
And that's kind of the sad thing is like, and I can't speak for everybody because I see Democrats going crazy. It was like, calm your shit down. Yeah. Michael Moore was near hysterics and was like crazy. I was like, calm down, Michael Moore. But it's just like it's like people have lost their. I don't even say like their hearts, but like just like a shred of empathy for human beings is like they don't care. If you're not with us, you're against us, and that's it.
Well, then that's the other thing too. I mean, you know, I've spent a lot of time on the show talking about like my understanding of the differences between Canadians and Americans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just this. I don't even know how to express this. It's just this shit just feels like it was building to it regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way I've always looked at it, there's always been a very staunch black and white, like line down the fucking room. That's your side of the apartment. This is my side of the apartment kind of attitude towards Americans by other Americans. You know, and for trivial shit. But now that it's come to this level of like fucking Victorian era fucking politics, you know, like again where people meet in the fucking streets and fist fight one another.
Yeah.
It's so much more real.
It's scary to see where it's gonna go, because I don't know how that divide is ever gonna be bridged now.
I don't. The only way is again like a post 9/11 style level of patriotism, where like something just completely abhorrent has to happen to Americans as a whole, and hopefully that will
bring them together.
Right? They'll forget their bullshit. You know, hopefully, and I mean, and that's a fucking horrendous thing to say.
It is.
Like, that the only way they can fucking...
Or the recession, like Bill Maher was saying about the recession.
Yeah. See, I like what he said about that, though, because it's a survivable event. Like, there's no reason why, you know. But no, it's... I mean, again, Alex Jones talking about a civil war is just pure him being crazy.
He's nuts.
But
and there's bigger things to worry about, you know, like, you know, we're not going to go into too much detail on it, but like trade wars and immigrants still being held at the borders. And now, I guess we'll talk about our next story. You know, he had his big summit with Kim Jong-un, and he was, you know, everything was going to be hunky-dory after, and he's going to get his Nobel Prize. Well, satellite images show that not only is North Korea not stopping its nuclear program, it's actually speeding it up.
Yeah, sounds about them. You know, I had hopes. You know,
me too.
And not
I
even
really did too.
Like, not even for me to be like, see, I told you Trump could do it. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. I mean, it'd just be nice to have somebody, you know, they have itchy fucking trigger fingers. I don't really want them having nukes. Like, that's just, you know.
Any little slight will make them upset and, you know, lose face. And,
I don't want anybody with that kind of fucking destructive power that acts that way. And I even mean Trump in that fucking manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I seen this the other day. I don't know if it was Facebook or Reddit. I didn't fucking check it, so I don't know how real it is. But it was something like the North Koreans have signed like 6 or 7 different denuclearization treaties and have never followed through with a single fucking one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, we can get our hopes up, sure.
They did send home at least one of the soldiers' remains from the Korean War.
That's
There's something.
Nice. Yeah, that's...
something. But yeah, I mean, we've seen that the North Koreans cannot be trusted. Like you said, they've signed previous nuclear agreements and not held to them. I guess it's kind of like when Trump pulled out of the Iran deal. We can change our minds and not keep our word too. So,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if, you know, we didn't have to worry about it, but it's not going to be a problem that any one individual can fix. You know what I mean? Like, even for the people that thought that he was going to go over there and just, you know, kind of fucking Mr. Miyagi that shit back together. You know, like, fucking, it's just not going to happen. He's not going to blow on his hands, rub on him 3 times, and fucking fix your knee. Like, it's...
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, he's got his big summit with Putin coming up next week.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know if we want to call that a summit. Is that what we call, like, when evil villains meet at a fucking lair?
I don't know what else to call it. I don't know. Yearly, quarterly review, yearly review is what some people were calling it.
Yeah. I imagine that too, though. Nothing will come of it. Like,
no.
Even with all the, you know, the collusion and all that fucking shit, you can't imagine. I mean, maybe the guy is fucking stupid, but I can't imagine.
That's the thing. Even if you take it all out, even if he's done nothing wrong, 100%. How he fails to shine a spotlight on the wrongdoings that Russia's done in America is just worrisome.
His whole little infatuation with them is a little weird. Like, it is a little odd. Now, I've even expressed my own beliefs that, like, you know, Russia's a big country, and at one point we are going to have to let them have their seat at the big boy table. You know what I mean? Like, we can't not. Like, they're going to have to one day have their seat with the rest of us.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it just seems like he is kind of ignoring or sweeping under the table the fact that, you know, the human rights fucking abuses in Russia.
Or like when he was referring to crime, you know, the seizing of Crimea. He's like, well, something happened and we kicked them out.
Yeah.
Something very large happened.
Right.
You know?
It's like I seen the other day Putin. Well, I don't know if it was Putin himself, but, you know, the Russians were disavowing Canada. Well, you know, we just violated international law by legalizing marijuana.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This coming from a fucking country that just annexed. You know what I mean?
A whole portion of a country.
You know, like, I'm supposed to take you, like, your word on the moral fucking high ground? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. I don't.
Like, fuck. Whatever.
We'll see what not comes from this meeting, but, you know, we'll hear more about how great Putin is and how he's a funny guy and how they, you know.
North Korea is still probably going to go to war one of these days to fucking the South.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
oh, yeah.
It's still going to happen.
I don't think you can prevent that. At some point, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I really feel for the South Koreans, though, because they're trying.
Yeah,
they're trying so hard, and then just like, you know, in comes a fucking orange orangutan and buffoons his way through it and bungles shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have nothing else to say on that.
No, like.
Let's talk about. So we've talked many times about people doing stupid things to get the ultimate selfie or the YouTube video. We talked about the girl who shot her fiance through the encyclopedia, and he died. Well, she got sentenced last week. I don't remember the sentence, but she was sentenced, and of course she's devastated and all this stuff. She didn't mean to kill him, but she still did a stupid thing.
Just like, even I didn't mean to kill him. Well, no, fucking shit, idiot.
Yeah, but you still did it, and you shouldn't have. Like, so we had a 3-person tragedy here in Canada. We had 3, I guess, fairly well YouTubers. I don't know them because I don't YouTube people really, but they were known for doing, you know, going in waterfalls and cliffs, and they were 2 of them spent 7 days in jail for going beyond the barriers at Yosemite and standing close to the those acid pools that they have there to take pictures. So they were in Squamish, BC, at Shannon Falls. There were 2 men and a woman. Megan is the woman. She supposedly, this is what witnesses are saying, slipped in. They were swimming in, I guess, a pool close to the waterfall. She slipped and ended up in the strong currents. The 2 men went in to try to save her, and all 3 of them went over 100-foot falls and, of course, died.
Yeah, I mean, tragic, I guess, yeah, but...
Sad waste of life, but, I mean, you live like an adventure, and horrible things like this happen, you know?
I mean, I'm not to say, like, they deserved it.
No, I'm not saying anybody deserves to die, but, I mean, you take a risk.
All right.
You can only gamble so long before you lose.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. Excuse me. That's exactly it. Like, it's always hard, even something like this, because it sounds tragic as shit. Like, they were trying to save somebody. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's tragic. Like, fuck, man. Yeah. Like, I actually kind of feel for you, but at the same point in time, like,
why were you in a pool close to strong currents over top of a 100-foot waterfall?
Right.
Like, honestly, no, I would not do that on purpose. Like, if I was like, oh, I'm going to go in this water, it looks nice, and I didn't know there's a waterfall, kind of different. If I know I'm at a waterfall, I'm not going in the water. I don't swim across, you know, the Niagara Gorge, you know, or try to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel.
It's anything with that whole, like, risk reward. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you assess that there was a risk. It's a fucking waterfall. You're doing it for that reason. I mean, were they filming for whatever YouTube or whatever
I'm going to assume they were.
Right? So, like, you're doing it for the reason that it is dangerous, and, you know, so I can't.
And I mean, we see that they had no respect for their own safety, really, because, like I said, they went over the barriers and they were very close to the acid pools.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No,
I mean, we just saw somebody who got melted, 2 weeks ago doing that?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he went in and he went in and got melted alive. It took him less than 24 hours. He was literally gone.
Yeah, that sounds about correct. I mean, I feel zero sympathy for this. Like,
it's like you said, in Iceland, the people go close to the, you know, the places and hang over the edges. At Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia, people go onto the Black Rocks.
Well, I've seen a video where I mean, the story behind it that I read or that I was reading was saying that it was a furniture maker, and it's someplace in Buffalo or something like that, somewhere near Niagara Falls. So the current there is like really, really strong. But some furniture maker seen this piece of driftwood, and he just had to fucking have it to make a piece of furniture out of. And yeah, ended up fucking him and some other dude drowning trying to get this. Jeez. You know, and it's like, I understand that, you know, that's your livelihood and you could have made you know, a pretty penny off it, what have you, but like, how am I supposed to show any type of empathy towards somebody that does something so fucking foolish and puts their life on the line? You know,
and rescuers or recoverers trying to recover your body are now in danger too.
You know, it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's a weird one because again, you don't want to think
about that too. Your last thought. So just as they're about to go over the waterfall, are they thinking it was worth it?
Right.
You know, it's sad. It's sad. And I feel really bad that young lives were lost and their families are obviously destroyed. But, like, I mean, don't do it.
Especially when you're talking this whole YouTube, Instagram kind of shit. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just foreign to me, I guess. Just the thought that, like, you would, again, put the only precious thing that really any of us have on this fucking earth, which is our lives, on the line for some
to begin with. I mean, if you're lucky, you get 100 years.
Right? It's one of those reasons why I'm kind of happy that I'm a little morbid and I do watch a lot of those like gore videos and shit. Because it's really, it's really taught me like how fucking fragile we are.
Yeah.
Like we are not built to last. Like we are built to be fucking snuffed
out. We're little
like
bags of water.
Right?
You
like
know?
it's the it's crazy and it's true. Like you never know. You know, like so why even put yourself in that position, especially for a bit of internet gratification? Like I understand the whole science, I guess, behind it. Like I've heard the whole fucking, you know, every like or anytime you get that notification, for a lot of people, it, you know, gives a little dopamine increase in the brain and shit like that. We're all apparently wired like that. Okay, cool, wicked.
Yeah.
But like, it's not like you were an adrenaline junkie. It's not like you, I don't know, it's just, these cases just bother me a bit.
Yeah, like I just...
Maybe it is just because it's foreign to me, because
I get that they're world travelers. These guys are world travelers. So they've been to Peru and they've been to Thailand and they go to all these places. And that's wonderful. I get the wanderlust, you know? But I don't get, you know, jumping off a waterfall into a place that's not established as safe, you know? Like I get people jump off cliffs because it's deep water. Like in Greece, you jump off a cliff into nice deep water and everything's fine, you know? I'm not doing anything crazy. Like, sorry, I don't want to die.
But like even that though, like that cliff that you dive off of in fucking Greece or whatever you're just saying.
Yeah.
Somebody had to be the first idiot to fucking do it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Do you know what I mean? Somebody had to be that first fucking guy, just be like, fuck my life, and just jump randomly. You know, it's. So I mean, respect, I guess, in some way. Like, that's what I mean.
Especially
by like,
if it's before you like knew to measure it. Like if you're like, oh, you know what? Look, we just found this nice lake and a cliff. Let's measure with a rope and see how long this, you know, before it hits the bottom. Okay, it's safe. There's no rocks under here, but you don't know. Like, especially oceans. There's lots of rocks by cliffs and oceans.
But that's what I mean by this is like conflicting for me, because at the same point in time, like I'm an idiot. You know what I mean? I'm that dumb that'll jump off the fucking cliff. Like, I don't give a shit. But it just, the weird part to me is hearing like they were YouTubers and you know what I mean? Because it just implies that they were doing it for again something that I can't relate to.
Well, so they had to get the money to go travel around the world, I guess.
Yeah, it's just fucking dumb to me. How many stupid fucking how many like. I'm a product of the jackass generation. Do you know what you know what that means? Like we were out there riding shopping carts into cars and fucking like we were just doing dumb fucking shit like that all the time. So it's not even like the thought that they were again swimming beside a waterfall. I mean, I could probably see myself doing something stupid like that. It's just that thought keeps playing over and over in my head that they were doing it with a fucking video camera.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, well.
And, you know, we don't know yet, but let's say they're in this pool that normally is safe. And it's like, we'll get a little closer to the edge. We got to get the right picture, the right angle, and swept away. Because,
like, that's, again, like, am I relating this to, like, that Japanese kid that fell to his death hanging off a crane and fucking, you know, 200 stories up trying to take a selfie? Because, like, as far as I'm concerned, stupid games, stupid prizes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, it's true.
I
like,
don't
people
feel bad
just stop
you,
doing it. Stop doing this. Just flash your boobs if you want the Insta like. Come on.
Well, they gotta free the nipple on Instagram before that can happen.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's, you know, you put yourself in danger, in any dangerous situation. How am I supposed to feel empathy towards your misfortunes?
Yeah, and then like, you know, brings us to our next story. Now you have people that are in serious danger. And I mean, they went caving to where people cave all the time. Now, granted, they went off season. It was dangerous. Mm-hmm. You've got a group of boys. What is it? 12 boys and their coach?
Yeah, 13 people.
Caves.
Yeah.
And now the rains have come and it's flooded and they just can't walk out.
Nope.
They literally will have to dive at some points. But they're, you know, I can't even believe they were alive. When I heard they were alive, I couldn't believe it. I thought I really thought they were going to be dead in there. But they're obviously hungry because they haven't eaten. They're malnourished. They're weak. Some of them are actually physically sick.
Yeah.
And the rains are going to come on Saturday.
Yep. Oh yeah, no, this is a shit show. Like,
yeah.
I see here though. I do actually feel really fucking bad. Like, I feel really bad 100%. For these kids because they weren't doing this as something fucking stupid or showboaty or anything like that. This is like a fucking trip they took with their soccer team. You know what I mean? And I love the fact that like they were asking today the rescuers about the World Cup and shit. Like, it's just you know what I mean? Like,
kids too.
I feel terrible for these kids. Like, I do.
Me too. It's scary.
Again, though, if these were fucking kids that were doing it for the fucking YouTube, I was like, fuck you. You know?
Yeah.
But it's different. They did an activity that, although might not have been at the ideal time to be doing it, you know, is known as a relatively safe activity.
Exactly.
So it's you know, it sucks. It really fucking sucks.
You know, the coach didn't do his research.
Yeah.
He's not a horrible person.
No.
You know.
And I mean, again, like, fuck, it's rain. You know what I mean? Like, even the best meteorologists aren't fucking correct all the time. So, like, that to me is more freak accident than fucking anything. It's not like this was like gross negligence or some shit. Like, this was just a tragic.
It's like 5.5 hours to. There's some full on scuba diving through full water and some like hiking through these caves. 5.5 hours to get out. 6 hours for the divers to get in. 5.5 hours to get out.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got 12 boys, and none of them have any experience diving.
Yeah.
So they're trying to train them right now in this freaking cave they're stuck in. And, you know, they're going to, I guess, attach them to some sort of expert, a Navy SEAL or something, and hope for the fucking best.
Yeah, hope they don't panic. Because that's the worst thing, right? If the kid panics, I mean, they're kind of... you could kill 2 people. Yeah, the whole thing, again, this one to me is tragic. Like, these are people that didn't put themselves in the harm's way in the sense where again, like, I can kind of point and laugh at your fucking...
This was just horrible coincidence that got them fucked.
Yeah. It was a fucking basis of a movie that was out not that long ago. Fucking, what was it called? Sanctum or some shit.
Yeah.
They kind of terrified the shit out of me, like, because it's
true. My god! And when I see these like people, like any video of people diving in caves, I mean, I don't like diving to begin with because I always see the movies where you get stuck on a rock. You know, that shit already scares me, and I don't like caves. Diving in a cave is horrifying. I think I would probably die. You'd have to knock me out physically with some sort of medicine to get me to do that.
You'd be hard pressed to get me into a fucking cave. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not. No. Like, if it's just a fucking hole in a hill, getting out of the rain, okay, that's fucking one thing.
Oh, did you see that? What's that movie called? The Descent, where they're literally crawling through, like, you know, like it's. Oh my god! No, I went to a haunted house.
Yeah.
And we had to climb on kind of like our hands and knees between 2 just like kind of like a bouncy castle thing where it was like squeezing in on you, and I didn't think I was like claustrophobic, but that shit freaked me out. I am claustrophobic.
I don't even think I'm claustrophobic. It's just no.
I don't want to go in a cave.
No, none of that seems fun.
I went to the mine, and that freaked me out when I went to the mine down east with your mom. Your mom and I were like holding hands and almost crying.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be underground. Like, it's just no, fuck you, no, thank you.
That was and I have no desire to go in a cave. You know, Jordan and his youth group got lost in the caves up north.
Oh yeah,
and the Yeah, and they were able to use his cell phone light to get out.
Huh.
They were lost in the complete dark.
Fucking I knew that. That sucks.
Yeah. Scary. But I mean, like, it could have been the same thing. Get lost in there and you're gone, you know?
No, you're not getting me underground. It's not fucking happening.
I would go. I know people
like,
are always like, oh, go see the petroglyphs with the cave paintings up north. Fuck that shit. Show me a picture.
Yeah, right? No, if it's fucking nuclear war and my choice is underground or fucking die, maybe just in my best self-interest, maybe I would, but no, fuck you. I'm not going because
I'm okay with basements, but
I've just never seen a movie, a TV show, read a story, anything like that where it ended up fucking good.
Yeah.
Everyone dies all the time. No, why the fuck do I
want to collapses.
Yeah, no, fuck you.
No, I know. I have zero desire. And even like the cave paintings to see in like France and Europe, they're like, it's not just like you go into the side of the hole in the hill and there's some paintings. You gotta shimmy through some tiny little shafts and up and down.
No. Like you can have fun with that one all fucking day. Like I'm not going underground. It's just not happening.
Same. I'm the same on that. I don't like that. I'm not going in caves. I didn't like the tunnel at Montreal. Okay.
Yeah.
I make sure we take the long way around, so I don't have to go through the tunnel. Well, it's a shortcut now. It's shorter now.
Yeah, it is shorter now, but that's still funny. No, and that's the thing. Like, it's not like I'm fucking scared of like the subway or even the tunnel or anything like that.
The subway doesn't bother me 100%. I don't know why. But
it's not even that. It's not for me. It's the fuck. I'm not crawling through. Like, no, fuck you. How is that fun?
And if you have to get away, you have to get away now. You can't get out fast if you have to crawl on your fucking belly.
Right. Like, even watching that Sanctum movie or whatever, but it kept going, well, we're the first human beings to ever lay eyes on that. Cool. I don't give a fuck. What am I doing here?
Cool.
Why the fuck did I no, this is stupid. This is a bad fucking hobby. Like,
I don't need to be the first person to lay eyes on something. I'm okay with being the 7 billionth. I don't care.
Yeah. Like, let me know when that's worn down to a nice walkable track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until then, fuck out
of here. There's VR now. You know what? VR me through there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like, no. It's no.
Gosh. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to be watching the story. I'm really wishing these kids well. I hope they get out before the rain comes or it doesn't rain very much. Let's hope
they got all them Chilean miners, they'll get these kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about our next story. This is kind of a sad story and gross at the same time. So there was a guy who was coming back from the Spanish island of Gran Canaria. His name, now he's a Russian rock musician. He's not famous to me. Andrei Shulin. And I guess he got some sort of, I guess it started as a rash and it turned into a skin infection.
Yeah.
And it was literally causing his skin to rot is the only way I guess I can explain it. Yeah. But he smelled so bad that people on his plane were fainting and vomiting before the plane could even land in Netherlands.
Yeah.
And they said it was just unbearable. And they tried to lock him in the bathroom. That's how bad he stunk. And he ended up dying after. So he made it to Amsterdam, but he got much sicker. And then he had to go into the hospital and he ended up dying. But isn't that really scary?
Yeah, it's fucked. That whole story was kind of fucked up. Like the fact that he went to the doctor in Spain, like, oh, it's just a regular beach infection. Here's some antibiotics. And then within days, according to his wife, it got to the point where, like,
I was trying to see. It doesn't say what it actually was, but it sounds like a skin-eating disease or something, right?
I guarantee it's some kind of skin-eating disease.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
and that quick.
Yeah, that quick. And the poor guy fucking died.
Yeah.
Poor guy fucking died, you know what I mean? And the worst thing is every time I've seen this article pop up in the last little bit, it's always talking about how he stank so bad first. You know what I mean? Like,
there wasn't like empathy for this poor guy. He was probably in horrible pain.
Right. And died embarrassed. Like, I don't know. It's just,
this
is one, as weird as it is, and I don't really feel bad for many people. Like, I feel fucking horrible for that. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like, what a way to go out.
Death. Or even in your suffering, you want people to have at least some sort of dignity.
Yeah, right.
And this guy was not afforded any. And I mean, that's how bad he smelled, that people had no empathy.
Yeah. Like, to me, that's rough. Like, that's fucking, it's a really sad narrative on this story. Like it really is. But I mean, fuck, you know, just like I was saying earlier, we're fragile beings. You know what I mean? Like just something as small as a fucking rotten fucking sand flea that hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
And your life's over because we're weak.
You went on what he thought was probably going to be a wonderful, beautiful, you know, trip to freaking Portugal or someplace.
Yeah, and nope, ended up fucking dying. It's sad. Yeah.
No, that's why I'm going to Iceland, where they don't have any mosquitoes or insects.
No, but they have volcanoes.
Yeah, but I mean,
winds that are literally
going to kill me is, you know, I'm not going. You know, Sister Patty wants to go to the volcano thing, and I said I'm not going because I don't want to hike for like 6 hours. But good luck to her on the volcano trip because I'm not going.
I'll tell you right now, everything in that country is a fucking hike. So prepare to hike.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Fucking thing.
But I don't mind a flat hike.
Oh no, nothing's flat. The whole island's a volcano. You're fucked.
Well, most of the stuff I'm doing, I won't have to hike much. Probably just the falls.
Yeah, you think that?
I hope so.
Have fun. But no, it's.
I'm being driven to a lot of places. I'm going to be driving.
Again, have fun. It's no,
dog sled.
You can't, like, this type of shit you can't predict, you know what I mean? Getting an infection or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm sure he did what everybody does and showered after too, and you know, doesn't matter.
But it is one of the things about, especially for people that are from colder climates, traveling to places with warmer climates, that nobody ever seems to really fucking take any heed to, is if we're not meant for that climate. We are so susceptible to all the dirty little bugs and infections and shit like that. Something as bad, like something like the common cold they might experience could put you in a fucking hospital. You know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
You have to be very mindful of that. And I think that's more or less what this guy succumbed to. It's probably not the greatest of diets to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, and just
maybe the doctor just didn't recognize what happened. It's just so sad. And then you think,
terrible.
Did you see the story? Now, I didn't save it. I kind of just read the headline. The headline made me so sad, but they said that 23 members of one of those, you know, secluded Amazonian tribes are in the hospital because they've got chickenpox. Chickenpox or measles? Measles.
Fuck.
You know, that's probably half the tribe.
Yep, that sucks. That's why people gotta leave them the fuck alone. Like, I'm tired of this shit.
Stop encountering them. Stop going there. Leave them be.
Like, fucking missionary stuff is literally some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. Like, seriously, because you're putting so many you're putting not only that entire tribe at risk, but yourself at fucking risk. Because like I just said, you know, just like they're fucking, you know, they can get rolled right over by fucking chicken pox. Like something that they have that they would consider literally like a fucking sneeze could put you in the hospital and kill you.
Actually, I was reading in a lot of these third world countries, like the citizens there are asking these to stop doing these mission vacations, you know, because it's like you're not helping. And when they come and they take their pictures with these poor kids, you're just sending out, you know, the bad message that these not everybody in Africa or not everybody in South America, not everybody in Asia is living in a hut, right? And that's kind of what the message that people get. You just assume everybody in Nigeria is poor and living in a hut. You know, yes, there are people that are in need in Nigeria, but there's, you know, big cities, you know?
Yeah. I can't remember what it was called. I watched something on this about, you know, especially white tourists going to places like fucking Africa. And the whole selfie thing, like where you have to get that, like,
you know, the starving children with their guts like and their mismatched shoes and
it's I can't remember what they called it, but I love the shit of it because it was so true. Because essentially what they were saying is how dishonest you're being and how much more racist you're being because you're trying to give the image of like, oh my God, look at me, I care, I'm here.
The white savior.
White savior.
Perpetrating, you know, those stereotypes.
Thank you, white savior. That was, and I couldn't agree more. You know, and you know how fucking angry I get at most of this stupid fucking. You know what I mean? But that one, I was like, you're fucked. Like that is dead fucking on, and it's not something that's new. Like, you know what I mean? That's not indicative of anything fucking like that. That's been going on forever. And I've always kind of felt really weird about it. It's because you're standing there and you're above them, and you're like, yeah, well, look at me. You know what I mean? Like I'm here fucking fighting the good help and helping these kids. We're like, no, you just went and took a fucking picture and bounced. You know what I mean? Like you're not.
Yeah.
No, that stuff aggravates me. Like, it really does. It pisses me off.
Yeah, me too. And yeah, like they're saying, like, people go and they're trying to raise houses or, schools or whatnot. But in a lot of times you're just there to try to recruit people into your
church.
Religion.
Yeah.
And it's dishonest to go there with a, not a true reason in your heart, I guess.
Well, and it's a fair fucking point. Like, people talk about colonization and colonizers and blah, 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 but when you really do look at it, I mean, it's not indicative of race, but it's always indicative of a fucking religion. Like, they're always the ones that are the worst perpetrators of doing this shit.
Yeah.
Where they don't fucking care.
I mean, look back in history. Who were the first people to come to any country? Were the priests, the missionaries that came to try to recruit the savages, right?
And it's not only even that. Like, you can't fucking tell me that. Let's just talk about the people that came to North America, and they were the first people to meet the natives. Yeah. If they weren't here under some religious fucking nonsense, or they didn't have that fucking bullshit in their heart, I guarantee you everything would have went a fuck ton smoother, because nobody would have been changing anybody. Nobody would have been looking down going, well, you're a fucking savage because you don't believe in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Live by our standards now.
Yeah.
Right?
It's bullshit. And it still goes on with these fucking missionary fucking nonsense. Where, well, we'll build you a school and shit like that, but, like, we're teaching fucking Jesus in it. Like, well, why are you forcing that shit on them? Like, you're sitting here telling them how they're fucking worthless fucking scum, essentially. Like, they're uneducated fucking savages, and they have to be educated. But only what you're, like, you know what I mean? Your fucking nonsense. It just
exactly.
It really.
It's not just educating them on how to farm more efficiently,
right?
Or how to make materials that can help them in their life. Yeah. You're trying to educate them on how to live like a white man and a nice Christian person.
Like a white fucking Christian. But not even a white Christian. The fucking worst of the worst evangelical style Christian.
Yeah.
Like, when I can't remember who did it, but somebody did that little documentary where they're showing how it's this fucking evangelical fucking guy from, like, Utah or some shit that kind of spearheaded
in Uganda,
right? Yeah, where, like, he kind of spearheaded a whole initiative of fucking murdering gay people in the fucking streets, and I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, how in the fuck can anybody, like, watch this and be like, yeah, well, that's just their religion, or that's just their culture? Like, no, fuck that. Like, that's abhorrent. We can't. And ever since then, I fucking hate that humanitarian nonsense, because it's true. There's always there's that fucking dotted line. You know what I mean? It's like we're preying on these fucking people because they're, for lack of a better fucking saying, they're too fucking stupid to understand that everything here is signed on the dotted line. It's the fine print you got to pay attention to. Where they've never seen the fine print. They've never, you know what I mean? They have no idea what the fuck I'd even be talking about if I said that to them. Where, like, here we're supposed to be skeptical enough and shit where we go, well, no, let me fucking, you know what I mean? Like, let me look into this shit before I agree to it. Where they're just like, well, and I mean, again, bad example, but like, ooh, shiny beads. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I fucking hate people.
Yeah, so, just like if you're thinking about going on a humanitarian mission or a humanitarian tour or a vacation, as they like to call them, think twice. Think twice and see if you're really going to do something good, or if you're just trying to,
it just
recruit.
It's fucking bothersome. Like, it really is. It really is. It's just so fucking sad,
It's dishonesty too. Like, you're supposed to be the bastion of, truth, right?
Right. Like, we're already, regardless of who you are, if you're traveling to somewhere where the native population is predominantly poor, you're already looked at as privileged, and you fucking are. You know what I mean? Like,
you are. Honestly, if you can afford like a $10,000 trip to Africa,
right? You're fucking.
Because it's not cheap. It's fucking expensive.
Oh, fuck no! Why do you think I haven't been to Africa?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
lions that eat people.
Well, I ain't too scared of that, I guess.
Just don't stick your hand out the window, okay?
But yeah, no, it's fucking dumb.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure there's people who think that you and I are anti-gun because we always talk about guns. We're not anti-gun. And now I'm really happy to share a story where I'm happy this person owned a gun at this time in their life. We're talking about a woman who in Richmond, Virginia, So there was a guy. Let's start with the story. There's a guy, Troy Skinner, flew all the way from New Zealand. He's 25 years old. Met a girl online, 14 years old. Was infatuated. Wanted to meet her. The mother found out and said, stop talking to him. So she stopped talking to him, but he continued to persist. Somehow he got her address, because it's not that hard to find things like that on the internet. Flew all the way from New Zealand to America, went to the girl's house, couldn't get in, so he smashed a glass door, and as he was reaching inside to unlock it, the girl's mother shot him and shot him in the neck. Good.
Dead?
No, he survived, but he's going to go to jail now.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. That's. I mean, even if she fucking killed the guy, I mean, it's their right, you know.
Yeah.
So
no, this guy was coming. He was coming with knife, pepper spray, and duct tape. He was coming to rape this girl.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
100%. He's coming to rape this girl, and the mother had her gun and was able to defend not only herself but her children. And there you go. This is why I'm not anti-gun.
Well, I mean, I'm still anti what happened. Like, I personally am not a fan of people having fucking weapons and shooting out a fucking door at people.
Yeah. Now, that could have been somebody whose car was broken down.
Right. Like,
and was knocking on the door. But I mean, you did break the window and you were trying to get your hand inside to unlock the door. Now you're entering.
Like, I even understand. Like, I even get the argument of why somebody should be able to do that. I mean, if somebody broke into my house like that and they're trying to rape my fucking daughter, you know, I'm sure I would wish I had a firearm and I was allowed to kill somebody. You know what I mean? But I still don't, you know. That's just me. That's just not something that I'm for. I don't think that any of us should be able to murder any of us, even in this type of situation. I believe, for me personally, that homeowner should still get in shit, still have to go through courts under a manslaughter court or case or whatever. Judge can throw the fucking case out.
He did knock on the door.
Yeah.
She didn't answer. The mother didn't answer. He went around to the back door where he saw the mother, and he knocked, and he was like, I need help. I've hitchhiked here 30 miles. She's like, no, I'm not answering the door. And then he threw the brick through the glass and was trying. She warned him she had a gun.
Yeah.
He didn't listen. I mean, you're in America. Believe everybody has a gun, especially if they tell you they do. Believe it.
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, good on the mother. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not even upset or anything like that. Like, they got flew to rape your kid. Like, I fucking get it.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
we have to be careful. Just because somebody knocks on the door, you know, like we've had the stories where the girl knocked on the door because she was lost and she got shot to death.
Yeah.
I'm not down for that. But once you like are breaking my glass door or breaking in my door, you know, open season, guy. Open season.
Well, absolutely, you know, and my whole thing, it's not even the whole gun thing. Like, again, I don't give a fuck about guns. Yeah. It's not that. It's just I'm just kind of anti-murder. You know, like I'm just a little bit anti-fucking murder. Now, even here in Canada, and I've said it before, you know, if you fucking kill somebody, regardless of the circumstance, you get charged with fucking manslaughter, and I like that. Yeah. But it's up to the court's discretion whether or not they fucking throw the case out of court or not. Yeah. Most times, it's just fucking thrown out of court because
I'm sure she's not going to be charged because it says here that the police officer investigating says he is not the victim. That lady and her family members are the victims. So I'm sure they're not pursuing anything.
Oh, fuck no. And especially, again, this happened in the U.S. Like, she was well within her rights. Yeah. Like, there's nothing wrong with this story. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's just me and my own personal fucking nonsense when it comes to...
I don't know. Maybe it was on Real Time. Somebody on Real Time was basically saying almost verbatim the things that you said. I can't remember. I think it was Real Time. Yeah. Basically, because they were kind of having a little gun debate, and they're like, oh, America needs to get rid of this murderous idea that they can kill anybody they want. It's just like, whoa.
To me, like, again, like, from the outside looking in, to me, that's always been the biggest kind of difference that I see between me and my American counterparts. Like, if you put, like, me and my American doppelganger in a fucking room together, you're not really going to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Between style, between values, between any of that kind of stuff. Like, you literally would not be able to tell us apart. But there's a huge difference when it comes to, you know, our attitudes towards fucking killing one another.
Yeah, yeah.
And to me, it's always been kind of the biggest example of kind of the divide, I guess. But to me, again, it's the question I always ask.
Well,
why
I mean,
do you feel so unsafe?
it's getting a little kind of crazy with people's intent to kill people here in Toronto right now.
Yeah, it's fucked, right?
Like street, like Wild West shootouts is ridiculous.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who brought that up. He said, you know, there's been a lot of murders in around your area, and I said, yeah, there's a fucking drug war going on. Like, don't think because like we don't have the level of murder and shit here that it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it happens. We're not living in like, you know,
we are America light. And I feel like a lot of Canadians kind of portray that image as though it is fucking sunshine and rainbows and fucking igloos and fucking we ride moose there. Like everyone's just happy, high-fiving, saying sorry for breathing each other's air. But no, like
holding doors for each other.
We are America light, and there are fucking murderers here too. Like there's murderers fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And since we have a similar drug culture here, I wouldn't even say similar, since we have the exact same fucking drug culture here.
Yeah. We got your druggies, and you got your gang members.
Same fucking gang crime and fucking drug crime and shit. Like it's, you know, there's no telling a difference between us there.
Yeah,
you know, there isn't.
And I mean, every few years, the gangs get out of control and they start shooting like crazy like this and doing a lot of hits and drive-bys and, you know.
I kind of called this happening a few years ago. When Toronto first implemented, when they first took carding out, I said this was going to happen. This was going to happen because now you have a lot more people that aren't scared at a random stop and frisk.
Yeah.
And they're going to be way more emboldened to carry their fucking weapon around. When somebody carries a fucking weapon, you know what I mean? They're more.
You're going to use it.
Fucking use it. You know, one small fucking slight, and especially somebody who feels weak enough that they have to carry a gun, they're fucking using the gun.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
unfortunate because people just want to live their lives, and if you want to be in a drug world or a gang war, that's wonderful. Please stop shooting innocent people. Please stop doing shootouts at, like, you know, festivals and parks and
that stuff. Like, if you want to do that, just stab one another. You know what I mean? Let's
exactly.
I don't even care. Like, in all honesty, like, I don't care if
no, I don't either. Fuck you, gang members. And it's not hostile. I don't care what color you are. White, brown, yellow,
I don't give a shit.
Stab yourselves, go ahead.
If you're a criminal, you're a criminal, and I understand that in the criminal world, criminal shit has to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get that. I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I understand that's how.
And you understand why it happens, right?
But exactly that. Go old school English footballer. You know what I mean? Go meet up in a fucking alley and have a gang fight or shoot at each other. I don't give a fuck. Like, I literally don't fucking care. It's just true. Like, just leave us the fuck out of it.
Yeah, just trying to go and get my shawarma or something and somebody shoots me. No, that's not cool.
And I've kind of wondered that in the past, like if society's kind of attitude towards gangs and gangsters and violence and all that kind of shit would change if there was a 0% chance of any of us getting harmed. Do you know what I mean? Like, if gangs and these criminals and what have you actually did take the conscientious fucking route and you know what I mean, remove themselves from public. I mean, I'd have to imagine.
I've seen a lot of people saying, just let them kill themselves. Like, I mean, this is way back, you know, before when gangs were predominantly Latino or, you know, or black. Oh, they're just killing each other. Let them kill each other out.
Yeah.
I've had people say that. Now, I wouldn't say that just because they're black to kill each other.
No.
But if you're in a gang, I don't care what color you are. You want to kill somebody? You want to live by a gun? You're going to die by a gun.
Well, exactly.
Get the fuck out of it.
Yeah, right. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I don't. When I talk gangs, like I don't ever mean in any type of racial terms.
Yeah, same.
Biker gangs are the exact same as fucking the Bloods, as Latin Kings. Like, I don't give a shit.
We've already discussed that many times.
You know what I mean? Like, I know that's not in the conversation.
Did this bitch literally just show up?
I just want to tell you guys,
5 minutes before our show ends.
I do apologize. I got held up at jail. Oh my god.
Yeah, prostituting on the corner.
Hi.
Hi, Ryan. I just want to ask. I can't remember if we talked about this, but I wanted to give an update if we didn't. Did we talk about the peacocks? How they're being removed?
Well,
yes, we did.
The ones from the fucking
BC
or whatever.
Okay, good.
Fucking stupid birds.
Yeah. Okay, I want to make sure that we talked about that because that's a good update I needed to talk about. So okay, well we got 5 minutes, Ryan. What do you got to talk about?
Okay, well, can I talk about the weather actually? And how
that's all anybody talks about here.
It's so hot. I'm sorry, guys, but it's really, really hot.
I know.
It's so like it's uncomfortably hot. Yesterday I thought was the hottest. Happy July, belated July 4th to a lot of the Americans that are listening.
Yeah.
It was so warm yesterday. I felt. The only way to describe it for me was it was like an oven that was left on, and it's that dry.
Oh, you have dry heat? How sweet. We have humid heat where you literally can't breathe and your hair is a frizz ball.
Oh no, I just found out, and I think we kind of had confirmation about this. I have asthma.
Yeah.
And I did not know. I used to think when I had a hard time breathing, oh, you just need to drink more water. Well,
that sounds like me as a parent. Whenever my kids are sick, I say, drink some water and have a shower.
Water, yeah. It was not just water. Like, I was legit having like a little mini panic attack. I've been manic. For anybody who has manic episodes, I feel like the heat kind of intensifies it a little bit.
That's everybody. That's why violence goes up in the heat, because people are irritable and crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm already hot. Stop fucking breathing towards me. Like, I will literally end your fucking life.
Yeah. No, that's why I think there are, like, where people get stabbed randomly in the street because, you know, because you get mad. Crimes always go up in the summer.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, like, it's been just so intense. For anybody who travels in public transportation, please wear deodorant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have some sort of common courtesy.
Put some in your bag for later.
Yes.
That's a must. Like, that is a must, especially in this type of heat. Because it's true. Like, I wear the good fucking 24-hour antiperspirant because I'm a heavy sweater. I get fucking, 3 to 4 hours in this kind of heat, and I smell. Like, I smell like that guy on the plane. And, it is true.
There's only one. Go ahead.
Oh, I should say, I remember when I used to commute in the mornings. And it would be like, how you already stinking at 7:30 in the morning? Take a shower and put on deodorant.
It's just been so intense. This has been the first straight week of heat for at least in New York, because it's been so inconsistent. Like, you'll still get like 58-degree weather, and then the next week it'll be like 80 degrees, and then you're back to cold weather. Now it's consistently just very, very hot.
Yeah, we've had over a week now. It's supposed to break for 2 days and go back to hot again.
Well, but I don't think that's happening in New York. It's been very hot for anybody, especially for older people. Stay hydrated. If you don't have to go outside, don't go outside.
Well, they've had, 33 deaths in
33
Montreal?
deaths.
Yeah, that's intense. It's a lot.
People don't have air conditioning and they're just staying in their apartments. And I saw, oh my God, I commented on this article. People were complaining. So we have our, like our housing, we're controlled by the government housing here, Toronto housing. And people were complaining the air conditioning wasn't working in the building. And I was like, what? Housing has air conditioning? I grew up in housing. We never had any kind of air conditioning. I was shocked.
I seen a lady online trying to trash her fucking landlord essentially for not having enough air conditioning, and something about just her being a large woman and how it's violating her human rights and shit like that. The fuck did she say? As a human occupying a large body. And
Jesus, you fat bitch.
Fucking lost my shit at that.
Go to the mall, okay?
I fucking lost my shit at that. The moment this bitch said that, I was like, you fucking, fuck you.
No, I'm a fat person, and I agree it's uncomfortable to be hot. But I think skinny people are uncomfortable to be hot. And get a fan, or stick your feet in some ice water, or go to the mall, or do something.
You know what helps me? I think I learned this from Jacqueline. When you shower, don't dry yourself off. Just put on your clothes.
Yeah, I try to just put on underwear and bra and come out in the fan.
Because it's so uncomfortably hot. Like, I didn't know places and crevices sweat.
Oh yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? I have a farmer's tan. I look so uncomfortable. Like, yesterday I showered literally 6 times. Just to kind of
There's no law, and I would imagine in America it's the same. There's no law that says your landlord has to provide air conditioning.
Oh yeah,
no, I don't think so.
No, there's no law anywhere. She was just trying to claim because she's large enough for it to be a disability.
Please wait, bitch.
That it was some kind of violation. I just found the fucking whole thing funny, especially when she said a person inhabiting a fat person's body or some shit like that. Like,
Jesus Christ!
Pissed
I'm a skinny bitch trapped in a fat lady's body too.
or what was it, like, yeah, inhabiting or something. It essentially made it out so that she was a slumlord to her own body. Was essentially how it fucking broke down. And I just loved it.
You know, save a few thousand on your Burger King and Pizza and buy an air conditioning unit.
Like, but again, I mean, if someone's, no offense to fucking big people out there, in all honesty, but if you're that large, that's a fucking disability, you're not long for this world anyway. I'm not investing in a fucking air conditioner for you. Like, sorry, not fucking sorry. You know,
that's what I did. My landlord didn't give me one. So you know what? My husband went out and bought me one finally a couple of years ago. First time I've ever had air conditioning in my life.
I was going to say, because Jacqueline, you did not have air conditioning for the longest time. Yeah,
I didn't, and I would cry and be so hot.
Yeah. Got 9 fans running.
I still have fans running because the air conditioner can only do so much. It's only a little one.
Yeah, me too. I have a fan running right now. It's that hot. I'm in my room's not that big, and my room is mostly covered in clothes. But this is besides the point. Yeah. The point is, it's very, 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 very hot. I can only imagine how it is for some people. I feel bad for a lot of homeless people.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of people say you feel bad. Yeah, you feel so bad for them in the winter. You should feel bad for them in the summertime.
Yeah, I feel bad for them all the time. And you know what? I hate when people say, "Oh, you can't complain." No, I can complain, and I can complain in the winter too. I don't like extreme weather. Okay, you know what? I like spring and fall.
No, it does. Yeah.
Screw you. When the temperature goes over like 25, I don't like it.
Well, then you throw in the humidity, because it was like near 40 degrees fucking Celsius today.
45 on Saturday.
Yeah, which is just fucking desert weather.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, this last week has really made me reconsider my next bit of travel.
When I'm hotter in Toronto than, India.
Yeah. Because that was it. Like, we probably still might do it, but we were talking about going to Morocco. And if it's anything like this, no, fuck you. Like, no.
It's dry there, though. It's dry.
Yeah, like, I'm not having it. Fuck this. This is terrible.
Yeah.
It's like terrible.
Someone had said to me, one of my Uber drivers, he was like, "Where are you from?" I said I was like, "Oh, I'm from the Philippines." He's like, "Well, but isn't this weather kind of reminiscent?" I said, "No, not at all. Because it's tropical weather over there." I'm like,
"This is have a lot of breezes from the ocean, right?"
There's no fucking breeze here. The only breeze here is Chris Breezy, and he's a fucking domestic violence guy. So fuck out of here. You know.
That, and I mean, you are in a city. The city makes it that much worse because it traps all that fucking air in there. Yeah. Like, I feel bad for anyone that has to work in any kind of like downtown core in this weather, because there's no.
The only time you get a breeze in the city is the winter when they blow those crazy winds at you down the freaking. Yeah.
Well, like, that's where the kind of bonus is, though, for working in the cities, because in the winter, like, it might be like -40 here, but in the heart of the city, you're only looking at like maybe 31, 32, you know, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when we're talking those kind of minuses, it means a fucking lot. Like, it means
just losing your nose or keeping it.
Like, it's insane to me that in the last 10 years I've seen 4 days at -40 something. Like, I live in the fucking Arctic.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Yeah, so that's the thing about, and I'm sure New York's like this, Toronto is very extreme. We have temperatures where it feels like over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or we have temperatures where it feels like, -50 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
It's a very place here in Toronto.
Don't they join back up Fahrenheit and fucking Celsius around like -30 or something like that? So I'm fairly certain like -40 to us is -40 to them.
Well, I'll never forget the reason why. I think I spoke to Jack. I think I talked Jacqueline's ear off for like months about this. For years, I had been wanting, I know we're going over time, I just want to tell the story. For years, I had been wanting a Canada Goose coat.
Yeah.
And I would just pine over this because it would get so cold. Because I would always buy kind of like these fashion coats, like ratty fashion coats that I just thought were so cute. But this year, or rather last year, I could not take it anymore. I spent the money and Canada Goose coats are not cheap by any means. Oh my God, it was the best investment I really could. And they are not paying me, they are not sponsoring me. It was the best investment I've ever done. Because it gets so cold in New York. Like, holy shit. You'll hear the wind go like, like, what the, like, it's like my butthole after I just gotten fucked. It's like literally like that.
We couldn't go one show without that mention.
Yeah.
No. Bitch, gotcha.
Okay, so let's end the show there. We'll be back on Monday. Remember, we do Thursdays for a while because I have to work Wednesdays now. So at least until the end of the summer. So don't forget, we'll be back Monday and Thursday.
Bye, babe.
Take care.
Bye. Have a good